say that you got something in a way that you didn't get it. Go to the store and buy it. Did I tell you about the little boy who found an error on his math test? There's a little boy, and he's looking at his slip, and he's marked for an 88. And question number 5, he finds that the teacher must have missed it or forgot to mark it wrong because he clearly had the answer wrong. And thinking that he was going to get rewarded by his teacher, he raises his hand and he says, "Excuse me, teacher, I got this question wrong." And so the teacher, hoping that he'd get the extra point or that he'd get a sucker or something to reward his honesty, the teacher goes over, she marks it wrong, she says thanks, and hands it back to the paper and marks him down to an 87. The boy was absolutely flabbergasted. But yet, he knew that he was okay. When he went home, his parents consoled him and said, "That's okay. You told the truth. You have nothing to worry about." Telling the truth and being honest might come at a cost for us. Lying might be the easy way out. Telling the truth isn't always the easy way out. There might be a direct cost to us. See, when we lie, when we try to manipulate the truth, it's going to hurt somebody. But I guess when we lie, we try to make sure that it doesn't hurt us. But there is always going to be a cost when we lie. But if we tell the truth, it's a part of remaining holy, seeking the best for all people. A little bit of hurt right now for me, but ultimately it's good for everybody else. Everyone benefits when we are treated fairly. When we treat people fairly, when we use the truth, when we speak in honesty, it reminds us of how Christ treats us. Christ treats us with love, and we want to be treated that way as well. Everyone benefits. Verse 13, do not defraud your neighbor or rob him. Do not hold back the wages of a man overnight. Look at the implications of these things. If I go and I steal from my neighbors, they aren't exactly going to like me anymore, right? They aren't exactly going to trust me anymore. But if we have an understanding that we treat others right, they also won't come back to us. And looking at kind of very quickly, not holding back the wages of a hired man, if I don't get my paycheck on time, I might get a little antsy, right? We might get a little bit upset. Now, I know that from experience, sometimes when you get your paycheck, it creates a little havoc for everybody. Now, when I go back to work on that Monday morning, am I going to work as hard as the guy who got paid yesterday? Probably not. Am I going to be happy? Probably not. And it's going to cause chaos and friction for the whole company. So as a result of paying wages at the right time and being honest in the business practice, it helps everyone remain holy. Holiness is a lifestyle. Telling the truth is an action that goes a part of that lifestyle. Christianity, integrity, is built on something. It's bent on being honest. We need to tell the truth even when it might hurt. It builds us all up. It builds up the feeling of the glory of God. We are people of integrity. Do we relate honesty and telling the truth with holiness? Do we value honesty and the truth? And are we willing to be honest and tell the truth even when it hurts? There's a socialist who came to see Andrew Carnegie, one of the richest men that the world has ever known. And he was rallying against him about the injustice of Carnegie having so much money. And so Carnegie, has him in his office, and he listens to him, and he calls in his secretary, and he asks his secretary, "Can you tell me, please, what my net worth is right now?" So the secretary leaves, and then he begins, as this man is talking to him, he looks up the latest figures on the world's population. And so the secretary comes back and places a sheet of paper with whatever his net worth was at the time. And he got out his pad and he did a little bit of math. And he told the secretary, "Give this man 19 cents. That's my share of his wealth." know if we recognize it when kind of lectionary breaks it up a little bit, but each one of these scripture passages and each one of these laws are very important. They're all about forming us into being people of holiness. They're all about us being holy. And I look at this as a stern voice of a father laying down the law in love. We see this especially in regards to justice. Look at verses 14 and 15. They say, "Do not curse the deaf or put a stumbling block in front of the blind, but fear the Lord your God. I am the Lord. Do not pervert justice. Do not show partiality to the poor or favoritism to the great, but judge your neighbor fairly." This is very important when we think about justice, especially that call to not play favorites. We all know what playing favorites does. You remember, and you and I remember when we were in school, or when you were in sports, you knew who the teacher's pet was, whether you were the teacher's pet or not. Everybody knew it. We knew who the coach's favorite was. We knew who the band teacher's favorite was. And even the outsiders, the parents, as they look in, you know whether your child is favored by the teacher or not. And that's why God is calling us not to play favorites. It's obvious to everyone. It's manipulating justice, and it's keeping us away from it. Favoritism is doing absolutely no one good. Justice is justice because it is just, not because it is unjust. And I think sometimes we misconstrue in our heads what justice actually looks like. Justice is about making things fair, making things right. Many times I think, especially as a child, I thought that justice meant that I got my way, right? Justice is making sure that everything's right with me, not making sure that everything is equal. And you remember that as a teenager. Well, that's not a fair punishment because you didn't get your way. That's why it's not a punishment. Not because your parents did anything wrong, but because we didn't agree with what did. The truth in pursuing justice is about finding the truth. It's about making things equal and fair for everyone. Ultimately, justice is also a thing of love. It's an action. It calls us to love the world. And one of the ways that we love the world is through that justice. And you look at verses 16 and kind of builds upon this idea of justice. Slander is malicious. Slander is bad. It's not helpful. It's not just. And later on, he kind of continues building on this idea. Don't do anything that might endanger your people, and don't even hold a grudge against your neighbor. That's pretty hard to do, especially in terms of holiness. Calling us to be holy, not holding grudges on people, that's going to take a lot of love. That's going to take a lot of justice, sometimes more than we are willing to give. So it's an exercise for us to try to be good, to try to be holy. Verse 17, do not hate your brother in your heart. Greet your neighbor frankly so that you do not share in his guilt. It's kind of scary for us, a little, at least when I read it. So if my neighbor is in guilt, I'm being compared to that. What he's saying is that we need to institute justice around us. That we need to pursue justice for everyone. It seems rather harsh to go and call out your neighbor, but that's what God is calling it to do. It's about holiness. It's about us being holy. We should rebuke them and not blame them or kind of call them out to the carpet, but do it in love. We are called to be holy, and we can't be anything near anything that kind of misconstrues what that is to be. Our passage ends with a very simple statement, one that we find throughout the scriptures. Matthew quotes it in Matthew 22:39. He says, love your neighbor as yourself. Holiness begins with seeking justice, treating our neighbors with love, treating them the way that we want to treat them. Do we relate holiness with justice and love? What connection do we see between love and justice? How do we truly love our neighbor as ourselves? In conclusion, we looked at the Leviticus chapter 19. We saw a little bit about what God calls for us to be holy. That we are supposed to be holy because why? God is holy. And so we must be holy as well. Some of the ways that we can pursue holiness is to be people who share with others, making sure that everyone has what they need. We pursue the truth. We tell the truth. We're honest. We maintain integrity as Christians and reflect that back well on God as well. And finally, we pursue justice with love, looking to make sure that everything is fair and out. Let's listen to God's call to be holy in this world and in our lives. Let's pray together. God, sometimes it's hard to know exactly how to be holy. Sometimes it's hard for us to live the way that you have called us